Alright, it's starting.
Okay, make sure you can hold your back.
1, 2, 3. Oh, there we go. 4, 5.
Okay. Imagine yourself saddling a horse for the first time. You're not quite sure what to do, but no one is around to help you, and you've seen others do it before. You think, what could go wrong, right? You know enough to put the bridle on first, and then the saddle, but you can figure out the rest once it's on the horse. Too excited to start riding, you jump on the horse anyways, thinking everything will be fine. As soon as you sit in the saddle, the horse starts bucking wildly, and you go flying over the horse's head and land right on your neck, resulting in fatal injury. You didn't realize the horse would do what he just did just because the horse wasn't saddled right. If you would have just followed the rules and put on the saddle correctly, you could have easily prevented this death from ever happening. Saddling a horse takes several steps that need to be done the correct way, otherwise it could result in serious injury or death. I want to share with you all today the correct way to saddle a horse, so if something similar to this ever happens to you in real life, you will know what to do and be ready. I have been riding horses all my life and have saddled horses hundreds of times. I want to share with you this useful information so that you can be safe if you decide to ride a horse one day. I will first outline the problems that can occur when you saddle a horse incorrectly. Next, I will explain in full detail the steps you need to take to saddle a horse the right way, so you can be safe and have an enjoyable ride. Serious injuries and even death can occur if and when you put a saddle on a horse the wrong way. Thousands of people are seriously injured and even killed each year when riding horses. Many of these injuries and deaths result from a saddle that is not placed properly on the horse. This happens because if a horse's saddle is placed on them incorrectly and doesn't fit right, it causes the horse to be cinchy. Cinchiness simply means a horse is reacting to a saddle being too tight or too loose around the girth, or the saddle is prodding them in some kind of uncomfortable way to what they are not used to, and it greatly increases the chance of them bucking wildly when you are riding them. The National Electronic Injury Surveillance System All-Injury Program reports that an estimated of 11,502 people sustain traumatic brain injuries while riding horses in an average of a year. The head and neck regions are injured in about 25% of all related horse incidents. Actor Christopher Reeve was paralyzed in 1995 for being thrown from his horse. Traumatic brain injury can severely affect the way you live your life, and often will result in paralysis like Mr. Reeve or confinement to a wheelchair. This is why it is so important that you make sure to put the saddle on the right way and always wear a helmet in order to avoid these kind of injuries. These kind of injuries are common when riding horses because riders can easily be thrown from the horse's back. You have no control of your body when it's flying through the air. And many times you will land on your head and neck, which are the most vital parts of your body. A young girl was killed when riding her horse. She was thrown over 10 feet in the air and hit a metal pole. After doing an investigation, it was thought that because the saddle was too tight, it caused the horse to buck a young girl off its back and to her death. Now I have summarized what can happen when you saddle a horse incorrectly. I will now explain in detail the correct steps you should take in order to saddle a horse the right way. There are several imperative steps that you should take each time you saddle a horse to make sure you don't increase your chance of injury or death. You probably didn't know that the way you saddle your horse has a dramatic effect on the way your horse rides. Your horse's attitude about being ridden will be affected by this. For this purpose of speech, I will inform you how to saddle a horse with a western saddle. First, you will want to approach the horse gently and carefully from the left or from the near side. You want to make sure your horse's back is clean and fully groomed so the saddle will fit best. When you're positive that the horse's back and the saddle is clean enough, place the saddle gently on the horse's back. Make sure the pad is in line with the back of the withers, which is where the horse's back starts to droop. Next, place the saddle on the horse. Or you could take the pad and the saddle and place it on here, just like this picture. It's good practice to keep all straps secure so they don't get in the way later. Stand near the horse's shoulder while holding the saddle at your right hip. Swing the saddle up onto the horse like you are giving the horse a hug. You may need to gain some momentum in order to get the saddle over the horse's back. If the saddle is heavy or the horse's tail, if the saddle is heavy or the horse is tall, you can just adjust the pad and the saddle by sliding them back and forth. If the saddle is in the right place, you will not be able to slide more than 3 fingers between the elbow in front of the cinch. You must make sure to hold the horn and lift the pad up into the gullet of the saddle to prevent the pad from bunching up. Next, you should look and make sure the saddle is centered on the pad. Lastly, make sure no straps and strings are caught on the saddle. This can make the horse cinchy. Connect all the cinches, starting with the front cinch. After the cinches are strapped up, you can climb on the horse by putting your foot in the stirrup. Remember to always be on the left side of the horse. Grab the horn with one or two hands and pull yourself on top of the horse. While riding, you should keep more than just the balls of your feet in case the horse takes off running. Riding a horse has serious health risks and can be avoided if you take them precautiously. Then these safety measures that start correctly applying the saddle on the horse. If you don't follow these rules and apply the saddle on the horse the wrong way, the horse will most likely be uncomfortable and can easily buck you off. Throwing you high in the air. This is where many serious accidents while riding horses occur, since you are already 3 or more feet off the ground. I hope you have all learned something from what I have talked with you today about saddling horses. For all of you who have ridden horses occasionally, you probably already know just how imperative it is to follow these guidelines. For those of you who haven't ridden horses much, this information can prove to be crucial in order for you to have the best ride possible. Riding horses can be very relaxing and therapeutic. So I recommend, if any of you who have not done it, do it. As I lead you today, I want you to remember it is very important that you remember these steps, or serious injury or even death can occur next time you saddle up. Thank you.